Welcome to Explain America. This is your host, Kyle Becker. Well, America is still reeling from a known communist taking over the capitalist center of the free world, and that is New York City, the Big Apple. It's about to be run into the ground by a radical red mayor named Zoran Mamdani. But before we can even recover from this shock, it looks like another radical socialist, straight out of the DSA, is poised to take over a very economically important city in the United States. But before we get into the story, please like, share, and comment at Explain America. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now, a radical socialist named Katie Wilson is poised to take over Seattle after a very suspect flood of mail-in ballots. Imagine that. Now, Wilson is a self-avowed socialist. She's co-founder of the Transit Riders Union and a Zoran Mamdani-style far-left firebrand. Now, she surged to an insurmountable 1,300 vote lead over incumbent Democrat Bruce Harrell after a flood of late mail-in ballots. That erased Harrell's 10,000 vote election day edge and handed control of the Pacific Northwest's economic powerhouse to radical progressives, it appears at this time. With Wilson now nabbing 61% of the final 6,121 ballots tallied Tuesday per King County elections, Democratic insiders like consultant Crystal Fincher has called the race for her outright. No recount needed, yet speculation mounts over potential voter fraud in the mail-in deluge that flipped the script. Now, it's quite ironic that 61% of these late mail-in ballots would go for a hard left socialist when the Democrat was ahead by 10,000 votes on election day. It is suspect indeed. Now, this is flipping the script, echoing national GOP concerns about unsecured drop boxes in deep blue strongholds. Where have we heard this before? Now, campaigning on her personal affordability struggles, Wilson pushed a punitive capital gains tax, which was vetoed by Harrell, the Democrat incumbent, ironclad renter protections, and a bloated public transit expansion, similar to Mamdani. This signals Seattle's pivot from pragmatic Dem governance, according to a CNN report, to unapologetic socialism, just weeks after Mamdani's New York City landslide ousted Cuomo from the race and was replacing Mayor Eric Adams. And the party is lurching towards DSA, aka Democratic Socialists of America, hard left takeover. Think the likes of AOC and Ilhan Omar. As mayor of 750,000 resident Seattle, it is home to Amazon, Microsoft, Boeing, and Trans-Pacific trade ports. Wilson is inheriting America's most dynamic urban economy, but critics warn her anti-business playbook could stifle innovation and jobs, turning the tech tourism mecca into another San Francisco-style cautionary tale of progressive overreach, although there's nothing progressive about the so-called progressives. And Elon Musk, well, we already know he relocated from San Francisco with the X headquarters to Austin in Texas. And a lot of these other tech giants are trying to relocate to business-friendly red states. We're seeing the socialist playbook play out right in front of our very eyes, and that this is not out of the blue. This is not just happening suddenly as it may appear. The Democrats have executed a great playbook, brilliant actually, since the late 60s, and that is to infiltrate the cities, set up Chicago-style machines, and infiltrate those machines and put in acolytes such as, I don't know, let me think of someone who became president of the United States who is a hard left Alinsky organizer. Who would that be? Oh, Barack Obama, for example. So this has been a long time coming. The key to capitalism in the eyes of socialists are the cities, urbanization, industrialization. That's also part of why they want the Green New Deal, the energy scam. They want to control the energy, control the climate, and basically industrial emissions also. So they're trying to get a stranglehold on our economy, and they're going after the financial and industrial hubs of the United States. That's why what's happening in Pennsylvania is so important. Throughout the Rust Belt, President Trump, he brought together a very unusual coalition by Republican standards in order to take all of these swing states. It will be critical to see what happens when Trump is not on the ballot, because he has been a populist. And that means he has broached Democrat wall when it comes to blue-collar workers, middle class, lower middle class workers who want to live in a country that is safe and secure, that is not taken over by illegal aliens and having to subsidize them. So weigh in with your own thoughts. What do you think about this? Wilson, Mayor Wilson in Seattle, that could be another disaster for the United States. We need to get out on this. We need to expose what happened in that election, because these mail-in ballots are a disaster, and it's going to get even worse unless we get voter IDs, single-day voting, unless you have a very good excuse, and all paper ballots. So we need to get on this. We need to do something about it, or what city will be next.